So those of you that know me know I've never seen a mic that I would not step to. That's how it begins. And there will be no less than 2, but perhaps 3 hip-hop references right here. In all seriousness, I want to first acknowledge and thank Dr. Cheryl Oakman, who met me, believe it or not, in as I was doing a hip-hop workshop about how we could connect to our young people. And she said, you know, I'm trying to find somebody to, come to Philly and move some work with me. Might you be interested? And here we are. And I also want to certainly acknowledge God in this moment, because it's important to know that we didn't write this. This is not of us. I want to acknowledge a friend of mine who passed away, Dr. Sean L. White, and what crushed me at his funeral, and there were thousands of people at his funeral, thousands. What crushed me was the moment when someone sang the words, "It's not yours," because all too often we think we drive it, or as the late great Stokely Carmichael Kwame Ture said, we think it, but in fact, someone else is driving. I want to thank my family who's over there, my wife and my children, my daughters, my nephews. And just, and say to you all that I'm going to try to be very brief because I've been writing this ever since we started. The words that I'm sharing with you were written as we were crafting the words that became the action, that became this fellowship that we're now moving forward, right? And so, at the root of this is perception. It's perception. That's the problem. I feel like Barack Obama talking with my hands. That's the problem, perception. And why is that important? I like metaphors. And so I thought about the mighty Mos Def, who sang a duet with Georgia Ann Muldrow. If you never heard of her, look her up. And she wrote a song called Roses. When I'm down, I just grab a paper and I draw roses. Why should I go cut up some roses when I can just draw them? Right? It's perception. The reason I bring that in is because we think about young black men the same way we think about dandelions. You ain't ready. Hip-hop reference number 2. Y'all gonna learn today. So, from 900 AD through the 1800s, people saw dandelions as medicinal. It wasn't until we started moving to the suburbs and then we decided that instead of planting dandelions, which would sustain us, we would plant grass. They're well-adapted, dandelions are, to well-disturbed areas. They can grow anywhere. Concrete, dirt, sand, the desert, the side of a rock. They will grow. Each year in North America, we spend millions of dollars to eradicate dandelions. 30% of our water goes towards eradicating dandelions. 30% of our water supply. Their seeds are propagated by the wind. And when a person catches one of those seeds from a dandelion, what do? They make a wish and they, You ain't ready. Around young black men, we've placed a low value on our young black men. We treat them like weeds.
Yes. Yes.
I ain't scared.
I
We
got
treat them like weeds. So our response to them is just that. They become well adapted to the most inhospitable environments known to man. And still, to quote Dr. Maya Angelou, they rise. Each year we spend billions of dollars undereducating and over-incarcerating our young black men. But guess what? We still ain't safe. And if we viewed our young black men as dreams, as miracles and answered prayers, I mean, again, going back to Mos Def, I was born to be what I am. Bright light from a distant star. You can't stop my go. You can't stop my go. Bright light from a distant star. Some of y'all, this is going to sting later for some folks. This fellowship was established with the purpose of finding those rare gardeners in the community who are already there. You ain't got to go read the text. Every time they open their door, they see a problem, they got a response. Every young person whose eyes they look into, they see a challenge, they got a response. And they're walking with these young people. Now, that's not to disparage what's happening around the research, because we need the research. We need to know what we know so we can know some more. Pardon my English and French. However, there are people who are already, as my brother Eric Grimes said one time, standing in the gap. They're doing the work. They're unheralded. They're not at the treetops. They're not on television. They don't get a mention in the paper unless they got caught up doing something. What they do every day with everything they got, whether there's lint or lots of loot, is they put their heart in front of those young people and they walk with them. And it's about perception, right? We got to recalibrate what we're looking for. Because if you think they're not there, then they're not there. So be it. And so it goes. But if you would just adjust like this, all of a sudden this constellation opens up. And these folks are there. And so the question is, how do we bring the treetops to the grassroots? One cannot survive without the other. Fruit doesn't ripen without dandelions. Are you still with me? So we need folks like the Philly Roots Fellows. We need to disown ourselves of this language of black men not being involved. I got a whole different story for you, which is, look over there. Do you see what I'm seeing? Because if you see what I'm seeing, then you understand that they actually are involved. It's a perception problem. Our lens is twisted. We need to recalibrate that, and once we do that, here we go. 15 men working with upwards of 300 young black men. I'm going to close by thanking again all of you who are here to see this and to bear witness to this. And to say that there are men that are near you, they're with you, who are working with young black men who are near you and with you. We've got to open our eyes. We've got to recognize those people, reach out to them, support them. And I also want to make sure I circle back and thank United Way, because this is tricky terrain. This is not easy terrain. It wasn't easy for us inside trying to push this thing. It wasn't easy for United Way trying to convince other people to just ride with us. That's not what Diane would say. She would put other language on it because she has to. You can't walk in and be like, come on, just ride with me. But if I was in the meeting, Diana, which is why I wasn't. So this is a terrific moment. We need to recreate many more of these moments. There are women out here who are giving up their homes and living rooms on behalf of their community. Men who are doing this on behalf of their community. You've heard it. That's what this is about. I ask that you carry this word forward, that you push this work forward, you support it with all you got, because our young people absolutely need it. We are not dandelions. We need some new gardeners around here. Thank you.